After years of struggling to lose weight, I'm 17 pounds down on Zepbound. Today, I'm going to share my 3-month results, including my full body scan and blood test results. Hi, I'm Taylor. I'm 30. I share cozy, slow living, and wellness videos here on YouTube. And I'm currently on a weight loss journey using a GLP-1 medication, Zepbound. And today I'm going to share a 3-month update. So let's get into it. Before I jump right into the results, I wanted to just cover what does Zepbound do. A lot of people know that it cuts your appetite down a little bit, so you're eating less, as well as makes you feel full for longer. But another thing that it does for me specifically as someone with PCOS is help to manage and improve insulin resistance. So essentially the drug is telling my body, or my pancreas specifically, when to release insulin whenever I have spikes. And it also just is overall improving how my body uses insulin on a day-to-day basis. So that is a big factor into my weight loss journey. I have struggled for years, like I said before, to lose weight because I have PCOS, even though I've had a fairly healthy lifestyle with lots of activity. This is something I have never been able to do, and this drug has been truly life-changing. I also wanted to cover some of the side effects. I know there's a lot out there on the side effects, and it really does vary from person to person. One of the main things that I hear is people, or maybe not hear, one of the main things that I get asked about is if I'm able to drink water and eat normally. And yes, I have been able to drink water and eat fairly normally. I do get full, I can tell a little bit faster, but my eating habits haven't changed too much. I still focus on eating lots of whole foods, and I feel very lucky that I haven't had to deal with that. And the only side effect I've really had to deal with is some digestive issues. It's fairly normal, but that has also slowed down quite a bit. And yeah, so side effects have been very manageable, and I'm really excited about the progress that I've made so far. Okay, so let's get into the good stuff, the results. I have been taking Zepbound for 3 months. I have lost 17 pounds, but I also did a Dexa scan, which is a full body scan, tracks your weight, looks at your fat mass as well as your lean muscle mass to see separates out the muscle mass that you have, the lean muscle, as well as fat mass on your bodies. It also breaks down where you carry your weight on different parts of your body, so within your trunk and your arms and your legs, so it gives you a full breakdown. I was losing about 1 pound a week at the start, and then it kind of slowed down to like half a pound, so about 1 pound every 2 weeks. But still super happy with 17 pounds down. I can feel it on my body. I can feel the difference, and that's been huge. I have dropped 3 points in BMI. I know BMI is kind of a taboo topic, but it is still something that's measured when you go to the doctor. And mine was really happy to see mine drop about 3 points since the last time I saw them. The second thing that was really exciting is I'm getting regular blood tests done with my doctor just to see how I'm tracking with the medication. The whole reason I wanted to start it is I was going into that pre-diabetic range with elevated AC1, and so I am excited that my blood sugar, or my AC1, my average blood sugar, has regulated. I'm no longer elevated and in that pre-diabetic zone, which is super exciting, a huge win. Something I went into this really concerned about because diabetes runs in my family on both sides, so that was one of my main goals going into this. Now I'm gonna get into those Dexa scan results. I'm gonna share some high-level numbers. For me, has really helped me to identify the areas that I need to work on and my next steps, which I'll share. My total body fat mass across my entire body has dropped 1.3%. Doesn't seem like a lot, but it is within those 17 pounds lost. I have dropped that 1.3% of body fat, which is awesome. Fat mass on my body has dropped 9 pounds, which seems like, oh, but you've lost 17, so only 9 of that is fat. Yes, muscle loss is really common with weight loss, so I'll get into that number and how much weight loss or muscle loss. My trunk fat, so my VAT fat, which is your visceral adipose tissue, so that is kind of the fat within like your trunk, which is like your from your neck to like your pelvis kind of area. I have lost 7 pounds in trunk fat, which is super exciting. It's a big win, and I'm excited to continue losing some more in that area. I lost 2 pounds in leg fat, so 7 plus 2, you can tell that's where my 9 pounds of fat loss came from. But the most exciting thing is that VAT number has moved from an increased high risk area to an ideal and healthy range, which is also another big win. A lot of this weight loss, the goal behind it is my health and longevity. So it's really exciting to see those numbers shift, and I still have some work to do. The other thing that I mentioned before is muscle loss. There is some muscle loss whenever it comes to weight loss. This was a concern of mine when I started the medication. It was one of those headlines that I saw about Zepbound and GLP-1 medications, was people losing muscle mass. And yes, it is something people do lose, but that is what people lose on any kind of weight loss journey. I was highly concerned about this just because I worked really hard over the last year plus to build more muscle recently. So it was a really big concern for me, and it kind of came to fruition in the sense that I lost 7 pounds in lean muscle mass, or lean mass on my body, which is a little bit of a bummer. I saw about 3 pounds actually lost in my legs, and there's a couple of things that can go into this. Obviously the weight loss, but also I started running, and when you first start running, you can lose a lot of muscle or lean mass in your legs just because it's shifting to different areas. So that could also contribute to it. But that was one of the numbers that kind of led me to my next steps in my journey. I, again, was a little disappointed to lose as much muscle mass as I did. I'm really trying to keep that under control, but I'm really happy I decided to do a Dexa scan before I started, as well as throughout the journey. It's just really helpful to see those numbers and come out and have some concrete next steps. Before I get into my next steps, I just wanted to give a little quick PSA about Zepbound or GLP-1 medications. Definitely check out my other video where I shared more about my decision to take Zepbound. I really wasn't sure if it was the right thing for me, and it took me about 8 months to actually decide after my doctor had mentioned I start taking it. So go check out that for more details. But first, just a PSA that it isn't a quick fix. Obviously, you can tell that, yes, I've lost weight and I'm really proud of that progress, but on average, even whenever I was losing more, I'm only losing about 1 pound per week, which is a fairly sustainable and healthy amount to lose, no matter if you're on a weight loss medication or not. So it is a slow progress still with weight loss. I did still hit a plateau of sorts, and that's something I talked about with my doctor and also incorporated into my next steps, which I'll get into shortly. I just wanted to stress that you still have to eat well and you still have to exercise for these drugs to do their best work. So it is not the easy way out necessarily, and strength training is also incredibly important in this process. I'm really glad that that was a habit that I fine-tuned before I started. I am strength training 3 to 5 times a week, depending on the type of program that I'm doing. It's super helpful so that you're able to maintain muscle mass, and muscle mass also plays a big factor into building your metabolisms. My goal is to continue building that muscle mass while I'm taking Zepbound, that way that I'm able to maintain the weight loss. Okay, so next steps. So I mentioned that I went to the doctor and I talked to them about this plateau and how sometimes it's really natural for your body to have this weight loss and just want to stay where it's at. I kind of hit that bump, and to hopefully move past it, I am going to increase my dosage again. I started on the lowest dose, which was 2.5 milligrams, and transitioned to 5 milligrams. And I've been on that dosage for the last 2 months. And so now I am moving forward to the next transitional dose, which I think is 7.5 milligrams. A lot of doctors and a lot of people who take this drug will move up in dosages every month, but my doctor and I have agreed to keep it kind of slow transition so I can manage side effects as well as possible. I am moving to that 7.5 dosage next week, and I am going to take that for a month or two and see where it goes from there. That's my first next step, is increasing my dosage. Very excited. I'm hopefully going to be able to manage those side effects that I'm assuming will come with that transition. Next thing is something I talked to about with the person who shared my Dexa scan results. Because of that muscle loss, they really recommended that I increase my protein intake. That was something that I went into this really focused on, but I think I let it dwindle a little. And so I'm going to refocus again on my protein intake and ensure I'm getting enough to not only maintain but build muscle. That's my second step, is really focusing in on that protein intake. And then lastly, going to focus in on doing some more leg workouts. So don't skip leg day is the moral of the story, I think. But I'm definitely going to make sure that that is a big part of my next steps. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Overall, again, I'm really happy with the progress that I've made so far. It's really exciting to see that number dropping on the scale, and then also the results that I saw in my full body scan. I'll continue to share updates here and there in my vlogs. I've kind of talked about my plateau in a couple of my vlogs recently, and I'll continue to share updates with my side effects as well with this transition to a larger dose. Definitely subscribe to continue to see where I go in my progress, and I'll share larger updates on a regular basis. My next Dexa scan probably won't be for another 3 to 4 months. I'll have a larger update then. If you've made it this far, thank you for being here. I would love it if you liked, commented, and subscribed to my channel as I continue to create more videos. And yeah, it makes my day every time someone subscribes. Leave a comment below too if you have any questions about my experience so far. I know I was watching a lot of videos before I decided to take Zepbound, and I'm excited to continue sharing weight loss journey as well as just all the cozy vibe. In the meantime, I'll see you on the next one. Bye!